Ethan was a 27-year-old multi-talented guy who could do a little bit of everything: fix computers, edit photos, write blogs, make coffee, even run a podcast. But what he lacked was focus. Every month he started a new project and never finished it. His apartment was filled with self-help books, gadgets, and a graveyard of unfinished plans. One gloomy, rainy afternoon, buried under tasks, exhaustion, and burnout, Ethan asked himself, "I've done so much. Why am I getting nowhere?" With no clear answer, he called his grandfather, whom he affectionately called Grandpa Joe. Even in his 80s, Grandpa Joe remained surprisingly sharp and calm. Most importantly, he always had the right story at the right time. After a simple dinner, they sat on the porch of the old wooden house, watching the spring rain fall gently on the vegetable garden. Ethan began to vent: the messy work, the abandoned projects, the mental and emotional fatigue. Grandpa Joe nodded quietly, never interrupting. Only when Ethan finally asked, "I don't even know what I'm doing wrong anymore. I've been giving it everything I've got, but the results are always vague. What should I do, Grandpa?" Grandpa Joe smiled, eyes squinting toward the rain, then turned to Ethan and said, "Let me tell you a story," he began, his voice deep and slow like lifting stones from memory. "Many years ago, when I was young, I had a chance to travel across Asia. I wasn't looking for anything specific, just trying to get away from the chaos back home, kind of like you now. One quiet afternoon, I visited a small monastery on a hillside where a monk lived who was known as the man who carried nothing. He lived very simply, just a mat, a jug of water, a few old scriptures, and 2 robes. We shared a humble meal under a tree. At that time, I had so many questions about happiness, life's purpose, the fatigue of making too many decisions every day. But instead of asking them all, I just picked one thing I'd always been curious about. Why do monks shave their heads? The monk didn't answer right away. He just smiled, a light, breeze-like smile, then looked Joe in the eyes and said, "It's not about religion, not even tradition. We shave our heads to remove the first domino." Ethan furrowed his brow. "The first domino?" Grandpa Joe nodded and continued, "At first, I didn't get it either. But the monk explained, hair seems harmless, just a small part of you. But once you keep it, you inherit a whole string of decisions. What style is trendy? What shampoo to use? Should you dye it? How often to cut it? Which salon? Each choice seems small, but they branch out like limbs from one root, tangling up your attention and draining your energy without you noticing." Ethan sat silently, thinking about all the mornings he'd stood in front of the mirror, stuck between a white shirt and a black tee, wasting half the day because he couldn't just start clean. "Shaving the head," Grandpa Joe said, "is their way of chopping down that whole tree. Not just the branches, but the root too. They don't just remove hair, they remove the chain of decisions that come with it. And when your mind isn't cluttered with the trivial, you have more space to look inward, to listen, to live more intentionally." Ethan stayed quiet. He was thinking about his laptop, cluttered with open tabs, unfinished projects, background apps, and too many big ideas. Grandpa Joe continued, "Life, Ethan, is like a garden, and every job, relationship, habit, or goal you add to your life is like planting a tree. But your garden isn't endless. If you try to grow too much, you'll wear yourself out and nothing will bloom. The solution isn't working harder. It's pulling out the trees that won't bloom, so you have room to nurture the ones that will." That night, Ethan didn't go to bed right away. He sat down and looked over everything he'd been doing. He had 6 income streams, but none were stable. He had 4 side projects, but none were nearing completion. He had dozens of plans to write books, start a podcast, open a studio, and all of it still just lived on paper. But there was one thing he always did well, no matter how tired or stressed he felt: writing. Whether it was a short blog, a video script, or just a journal entry, time stopped when he wrote. Ethan didn't have to force himself to try, he just flowed. A few weeks later, Ethan did something he had never done before. He started deleting. He scrapped all the half-baked projects, canceled his photo editing software, stopped advertising, quit the random freelance gigs. He kept just one thing: writing. And he made a simple plan: 1 post a day, published consistently, no fluff, no perfectionism, just focused on quality. The first month, barely anyone read it. The second month, a few people started sharing. By the sixth month, a digital magazine reached out and offered him a freelance column. By the end of the first year, Ethan became the lead writer for a popular self-development column. In his second year, he published his first book, a quiet, thoughtful collection of essays. Today, in a world overflowing with options and endless opportunities, it's easy to fall for the illusion of freedom. Do more to get more. But as the monk said, every tiny choice is a tree that needs watering with your time, attention, and energy. We don't burn out because we do too much. We burn out because we hold on to too much that doesn't matter. We don't fail because we're not capable. We fail because our energy is scattered across the wrong things. Freedom doesn't come from having more options. Freedom comes from daring to let go. Ethan didn't succeed because he did more than everyone else. He succeeded because he had the courage to shave off the excess, to let go of things that looked important but were really just tangled leaves. So if you're feeling stuck, lost, or wondering why you're always busy but going nowhere, maybe you don't need another piece of advice. Maybe you just need a pair of clippers. I hope you found this story helpful. If you enjoyed today's story, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next story.